everybody. Thanks for joining me and Happy New Year. Today is January 1st, 2019, and this would be the video right after the first drywall video. So I guess you'll call this drywall part 2 plus some rambling, probably more rambling than working. So if you're one of those people who just want to watch HGTV and tell me more working, less talking, this is not the video for you. It's probably not the series of videos for you. The entire purpose of this series, and I think a lot of you probably do get it, is to just show this entire process, the steps, the kind of thinking that goes behind it, the decisions that need to be made, kind of what it's like to just be an average guy like me doing something like this. And I know a lot of people, you don't know me, and a lot of people are probably, I bet he's got some money coming from somewhere or something like that. I have a couple of rental properties that average about $500 a month, and then I have a very average to below average income. What I do is I do not spend that money on stupid stuff that's not going to get me anywhere. My sort of way of thinking is my income comes from tables and a few other sources, making furniture and selling furniture, and then a few other sources like YouTube, like selling my books, my woodworking plans, things like that. I'm completely self-employed, and my income is coming from various sources. But in general, like I said, it's average to below average. But my way of thinking is when I make money, I don't want to just take my initial money, my money I make that's just like W-2 style income. I don't file a W-2, but a W-2 style income, and just spend it on paying bills. I think of that as, I don't even know how to explain it beyond that. What I like to do and the way I like to think of it, this is my goal, this is of course not how it always happens, is I like to make my money with my job. That's what I'll just refer to all the stuff I do, my job, and then spend that money on houses. And then I like to spend the money that comes off of the rental, off of the houses that I've renovated. I know that sounds kind of weird. It's just like, it's all the same thing. But I don't think of it as all the same thing. Most people go to their job, pay the highest tax rate on that money that you can pay, and then spend that money immediately. So I think of that as expensive money. I like to take that money, spend it on something, which is just investing it into real estate, and then and then once it comes out of the other end of that real estate, it's taxed at a lower rate because it's passive income off of rental property, and then use that money to pay my bills. So again, I realize that might sound like some sort of mind trick I'm playing on myself, but I think if you can kind of roll your money through that whole process as many times as possible, you're just building money off of your money. And you're kind of turning your dollars into little employees and duplicating what you can do yourself. If you're paid to dig holes, you're only going to make money when you're down in that hole digging a hole. Once you're done digging it and you get paid, you got to get back in the hole again. So with a rental property, people kind of tell me you take so long, you're doing this wrong, you're doing that wrong. And none of that bothers me. I promise you that. It doesn't bother me. I just think sometimes I think it's a shame that people don't realize what I'm really doing. I'm not trying to do everything right. I'm trying to get another rental property that's going to then produce income about an average of $500 a month. And take your income right now. I'm going to pretend I'm one of these motivational speakers, and y'all are actually there and I'm talking to you. Think of your income in your head you make per month right now. Now add $500 to it. Now I add another $500 to it, and another $500, or whatever the average rental is for the type of rental that you think you can get into in your area. That's what income properties like this are. And eventually, all of a sudden, let's say you make $2,000, $3,000, $4,000 a month, whatever it is for where you live and what you do. You can easily replace that over several years with little small rental houses like this. And at any point in the future, if you needed to, say for whatever reason you needed $50,000, $60,000, $70,000 to achieve some goal of yours, or if you had a house like this and you see, hey, there's 3 houses right there that I could buy, the rental properties that need to be light renovations on each one, sell one house and roll it into the other ones, and then you can triple that income because you're turning one house into 3. If all you do is go to your job each day and then spend that money, or even if you just save your money, you're not going to end up with opportunities like that. You've got to start somewhere. And if that means buying a little rinky-dink house like this one, and that means fixing it up over a year or 2 on your own, this is a whole lot better than sitting in front of a TV, watching videos like this one on YouTube, or whatever else it is that people do that really in the end is a waste of time. And that's something I've been kind of thinking about lately. It is January 1st, so everybody's kind of thinking about At least I do. I kind of think of that year, what it is I achieved versus kind of what I really wanted to do, and then look back on that year and kind of think about it. What did I enjoy? And I think I'm not going to say the worst, but like when you look back on a year and you go, what did I do? Or, what did I actually, enjoy doing this year? When you can't come up with answers to that, or if you feel like that year or, wasn't that fulfilling, I'm not getting too hung up on the fact that it's New Year's, but for me, I kind of think that the thing I want to do as far as improving myself is less input. So you're kind of getting some input right now. I think every day it's more and more of a information age, if you want to call it that. I guess that's what it's referred to. You go to check your email. I've got Yahoo as an email, one of my emails, and I go to Yahoo, and there's just news story after news story talking about how bad everything is or how great everything is. Talking about what some person that I have no idea who they are, what they did. And then I'll find myself, I'll click on one of those things, and 5 minutes later, I go, what did I even click on? And so much of that is just such a waste of time. You're just inundated with so much information that has nothing to do with what you're doing. And I think the best way to describe it is you have a limited amount of bandwidth, and I'm talking about what's coming into your head, not the actual internet coming into your house. But you have a limited amount of stuff that you can take in and actually do anything with it. And I think that you need to kind of guard that and make sure that the information that you're getting in, the time that you're kind of spending on it, and the mental investment that is going into all of it, you need to make sure that you can handle it and that it is actually something that's fulfilling in the end. So yeah, this has nothing to do with working on a house, but at the same time it does, because part of working on a house is not just showing up and hammering a nail or driving screws and, I don't know, doing what all the steps that it takes to do it. It's the brain inside of your head. That's the biggest part of the whole process, is staying motivated, staying focused, not getting distracted, not getting too excited, not getting too bummed out, because as soon as this house is done, I'm just going to start another one. So I'm basically working on a project that never ends, because as soon as I'm done with this house, I'm starting on another one. While I was working on this one, I kind of disappeared for a month or two a while back. I was just working on a different house. I've already mentioned that. I'll show that one as well. I'll probably show that one right after this one because I'm already completely done with it. So this process for me, it never ends, and that can wear on you. All the time I just want to stop this for a while, take a couple years where I don't renovate any houses and just try to focus on something different. But I know I'm not going to do that in the end, because I know this is a good path to take. And even if I never get it anywhere huge for myself personally, it's something that can be left to my family. All these places can be sold. It'll all just be a bunch of passive income that can be passed on to someone else. So not everything is just about you. It's kind of like buying life insurance. I have life insurance, and I'm not going to say it's really all that expensive, but it'd be one less thing for me to pay for if I didn't have it. But I do it anyway, and that's for other people. Not all of your decisions have just because you want a new bass boat or something like that. It has to do with, a lot more. So I think maintaining that mental toughness is key. And to kind of get back to my point, I think taking in too much information, whether it be, listening to the radio, watching the news, even talking to too many darn people, I think all of that is just a distraction and something that over time naturally builds up. And it's something that I personally want to kind of tone a lot of that down. I'm not going to slow my videos down. What I am going to do is continue my videos, continue to maintain any kind of supporting media that surrounds that. But I'm not going to dive into it myself personally, as far as I think following other people and wondering, hey, what are they doing? And all that stuff. I think for me personally, I think it's damaging. And I think it's like that for a lot of people. I think you need to decide what's important for you and stick to that. And I hope that my videos kind of help people in that, and not just be something you watch strictly as entertainment, and maybe something is motivating towards helping other people kind of achieve things they want to achieve. So I think I'm going to probably, if I keep talking, I'm going to get kind of lost in what I'm saying. So let me kind of just show you around real quick. We'll look around, and then I got to find my tripod, and I'll show you a little bit of work from this. Probably wait a few days maybe and add some more shots to this video, then get her posted. And then I'm hoping after this video, I'll do the drywall compounds, all the mudding processes, and then we will be done with the drywall. And once that's done, that's going to be huge, because the house will be much cleaner. I got to get everything out of it, and I got to put the floors in, paint the walls, and just all the more of the finishing steps of the process. So let me spin the camera around and we will take a quick look. We'll start things at the front door just to kind of give you a frame of reference. So when you walk in, you're in the living room, kitchen's back here, bedroom's to the right. So you've already seen the bedroom. Hanging the drywall is done. Got the closet, so through there is the bathroom. Get a lot of comments on the bathroom being through the bedroom. I don't get to worry about this, and there's a lot of people I know that kind of like the idea of it being off into the bedroom. This is a one-bedroom rental house. I'm not going to rent this thing out to some party maniac that doesn't want people walking through his through their bedroom. I'm going to rent this thing out to the person who likes the place. If you walk into the house and you don't like that the bathroom's in that location, and it's enough to not make you want to rent the place, you don't rent the place. So I'm never really sure why people think that's that big of a deal. If this was my house, I would prefer it to be in there. I'd have your bathroom as very private. You're not squeaking one off while somebody's standing right on the other side of the door. I mean, I like it. So I've got the bedroom done, and then here we are in the kitchen. Kitchen is in. Got the lights on, and this is like, I know I already mentioned this in the last video, but it's so nice to have the lights on and not just have some floodlight work light that I'm working off of. We'll step into the laundry room over there in just a second. One of the things I'm getting fussed at about is my drywall job, my messy joints. Like, oh, you can see that joint right there. Oh, God, there's another one you can see. Look at that big gap over there. Why are you putting the cut end against the factory end? This is drywall. I have drywalled other houses, and I don't have cracks in any of it. People are kind of, I think what happens is the people watching my videos, a lot of the people watching the videos kind of have one area that they actually know about. Like, you got a guy who drywalls houses, and he's watching my videos. Well, when it comes up time for the drywall part, he'll fuss at me. You know, when it's the electrical part, the electricians fuss at me. When it's plumbing, the plumbers fuss at me. Otherwise, people just don't even notice the little small things that the person's doing wrong. And then you got the people fussing at me that never even picked up a hammer. They don't probably own the house that they live in, much less a whole bunch of rental houses. So my goal with this whole process of renovating this house is to get another rental house. It is not to make a perfect house, but in the end, you've got to keep things, I think, kind of, don't forget what this place started out as. This is going to be a palace compared. This thing started out as a dog house, and in the end, it's going to be a perfectly respectable, fine little one-bedroom house with a kitchen and a living room and a laundry room and updated electrical service, heat pumps, all brand new everything. So it's going to be a very clean, nice little place that I think is cute and functional. So if something in here is not what you would call perfect, you know, what standard are you holding this thing up to? If the person that says that, I really have a hard time believing that they have actual experience in doing all of it. And not saying that I have all the experience, but when you're working on something, you need to get the job done. You can't be worrying about everything being perfect. And drywall especially, I won't say my comment, I'm really thinking, but this is an area where you can fix anything. You know, you can smash somebody's head through that wall and fix it where no one will ever know it's there. A joint like this is no big deal. You smush some compound into that, you tape over it, and then you do that whole joint right, it is not going to crack. I've drywalled entire houses, and I've had some crazy stuff being there because of things being out of square and not wanting to go to, you know, some incredible elaborate option to fix it. But it's all okay in the end. It's just one of those things where you can just say, put some putty on it kind of thing. So the drywall will be perfectly fine in the end. And it may sound like I'm fussing or complaining or have had my feelings hurt, and that's not the case. I just don't want other people that are watching these videos. Anytime I make comments like this, people say, oh, don't let the comments get you down. They're not getting me down at all. I guess what I could say that I don't like, if I wanted to say I don't like something, is the fact that other people who are kind of ignorant of certain steps in renovating a house, and I mean ignorant by its definition, not as some insult, just that you're not knowing of a situation, is that person may kind of get a inaccurate idea of what's needed. You know, they may look at this and go, oh God, you know, and then be too daunted by thinking everything needs to be perfect. I'm already going pretty far with this house. I think a lot of you know that. But a lot of it has to do with these videos. It has a lot to do with I didn't really exactly know which direction I would go. But not everything has to be completely perfect. So when you know that, you're not going to let, many of you have probably heard this phrase, you're not going to let a nickel hold up a dollar. You're not going to let perfect be the enemy of good. You just get the job done. You learn as you go. Stuff like this is going to happen. Go watch the real drywall guys and look what happens while they're doing it. But they're not getting hung up on it. They just keep on cruising and they fix it in the end. And the same thing applies for a lot of the steps throughout this process. So right now I am in the utility room. Just got the ceiling done. The hardest board to hang in the whole house was that one right there. And it's because I used my drywall stand and it's so tight in here and I was crawling under it and going all, you know, it was awful. Had 2 holes to cut in it. But there you have it. The other thing I'm getting comments on, I'll try to answer this, is people are asking me why I have cutting some of the boards while they're up in place, or why am I putting some of the cut-ins against the factory ends? Well, that's because this is an old house and none of this framing is square, unless it's the actual framing that I did, the exterior walls and some of the interior walls. Everything else is out of square and the spacing's not right. So it might be square off the wall, but then the actual ceiling joist that it's hanging on be crooked. So to keep everything square with all the other boards, I have to put the factory edge against the wall, and then I have to cut this one at an angle to match the next one. Again, it's drywall, it doesn't matter. One thing that I do in a lot of cuts, it's probably hard to see it, but I basically beveled the end there. So I kind of did like a V-cut in that gap there, and that allows some of that compound to kind of get in there. It takes off this edge in case it's kind of flared up a little bit, and that helps in the process. I've got it done on some of those. That doesn't really matter as much, but you know, by the time you're done, it's all fine. The first house I ever drywalled the entire thing was the house I live in now, and that was 3 or 4 years ago, and everything is perfectly fine in the house. There's nothing wrong with it at all, and any average person walking in there would not have any issue with it. So let me stop talking. I need to get back to work. I'm going to put a work box in the wall, put this wire up in here, and then this is for the water heater. And so that wire will be in a box and then come out of the wall, I think in a piece of Liquidite or something, just to keep it protected, and go down and connect to the water heater. And then I'll be drywalling around the box as well. And part of that is keeping all the dust out of the box while I'm doing it. Got a little trick for that if I can find some tape. Enough talking, let me get back to work and see how far we get today. Today was not a huge day of progress, but I did get a good amount of stuff done. Some of the drywall was a little trickier around some stuff, and I had to do some cleanup. So, let's see, where were we last? Got all the drywall up here in the laundry room. It's really cool seeing this kind of turn into defined rooms now. So there it is on the back of the door. I left the area behind the shower completely open, all the way from the drain through the floor up to the shower head. So I'll be able to access that. There'll be a panel over this, but I'm not going to have it be a permanent piece. There's a drywall around the breaker box. And then what I did, all this stuff was in this room along with a bunch of other junk that's been moved into the bedroom. So I just needed to kind of clear the floor space. Got some shingles and all these mirrors. Need to get those out of the way. But I got 2 panels up here, plus went through all my junk and got rid of some stuff. So that is it for tonight. Tomorrow I need to go pick up some more regular drywall as well as the drywall that goes in the bathroom. It is the next day. I've been here since this morning and it's about midnight right now. I am getting pretty tired. I have drank energy drinks, Mountain Dew, a whole pizza, 2 sandwiches. I just can't keep it up anymore. I've got to go home, and by go home I need to do about an hour's more work, just cleaning up and getting ready for tomorrow. Today I went to Lowe's, bought the drywall you see here, plus the rest of the drywall to finish the bathroom. The living room. My apologies. And here it is. So yesterday when I left I had 2 sheets hung on the ceiling. So I got the rest done on the ceiling. I really wrestled with it today for some reason. If you hear me kind of grunting in videos sometimes, that's because of my shoulders. I've dislocated my collarbones, pulled my muscles in my shoulders multiple times from sporting accidents. So doing stuff overhead is very difficult at length. For example, holding this camera up with one hand right now above my head is hard. So the drywall is done everywhere in the house except for the bathroom. Let's take a trip in there. Tomorrow, well, probably tonight I'll get everything cleaned out, and then tomorrow I'm going to hang the drywall except for this wall here. I need to stub the wall out, the pipe out for the vanity, and then I need to pressure test my water lines. I need to get a test ball to plug everything up. It's just part of the inspection, so I'm just going to leave that wall open in case there's some sort of a problem. I'll be able to fix it before I put drywall over it. But yeah, not a lot to say about that. Everything's done. The only other thing I think that I've done that I did not show would be I ran coax and phone lines. I'm not running any kind of Cat 5 wires or anything like that. It's just not necessary. Anything extra. I'm just doing basically the bare bones. The only reason I'm doing the coax and the phone lines is because I don't want a telephone or cable man to kind of lose his mind and do something crazy in here. So I'm just going to have it all run somewhere, and then he can connect to that when he gets everything hooked up. Also have the thermostat wire hanging out of the wall there. I think that is pretty much it. Feels good to be this far, although the worst of it all is about to come, and that's the joint compound referred to as mud. That's next. In the kitchen, people ask if there was a window there. It's just behind the drywall. I just have it over the hole right now and just will cut it out soon. I think that's pretty much it. Yes, I did get a haircut. About 2 a.m. last night in my basement with a set of shears or buzz cutters, whatever you call them, I bought from Walmart. I just had enough, and I know it looks crazy, but it's just what I did. I can wear a hat. But that has nothing to do with this. Thank you all for watching. Be sure to check the links below for links in the description. That's what I meant to say. I have another YouTube channel, The Homestead Craftsman, and that's my website's name as well, thehomesteadcraftsman.com. It's all about making stuff, woodworking, and other interesting things, in my opinion. You can check out the link for my book as well, How to Buy Houses, How to Buy Cheap Houses, I mean. I'm getting tired. Thanks for watching. See you next time.